Being helpful feels like virtue. It feels like light. It feels like the moral high ground where good people stand and bad people fall away. From childhood, you were taught that to be. Good is to give, to serve, to accommodate, to sacrifice, help others. Be kind, be generous, be understanding. And the more you help, the more good you become. But here is the uncomfortable truth. No one dares to say out loud, being helpful is one of the fastest ways to become powerless, and powerlessness, dressed up as goodness, is not virtue. It is a trap. Machiavelli understood something centuries ago that still terrifies people today. He saw that morality, when weaponized against the individual, becomes a leash. He saw that goodness, without strategy, invites exploitation. He saw that the world does not reward those who are helpful, but those who are necessary. And the difference between the two is everything. Look around. The most helpful person in the room is rarely the most respected. They are leaned on, not listened to, used, not valued, praised. In words, dismissed in action. Their reward is always future gratitude that never arrives, and yet they continue because they have been taught that saying no is selfish, that boundaries are cruel, that prioritizing oneself is immoral. This is not an accident. This is conditioning. The goodness trap works like this. You begin by helping because it feels right. People appreciate it at first. They thank you. They smile. You feel useful, needed. Then slowly, without you noticing, the appreciation fades and expectation replaces it. Your help becomes assumed. Your availability becomes permanent. Your time stops being yours. And the moment you hesitate, the moment you pull back, the moment you protect yourself, the mask slips. You are no longer kind. You are selfish. You are cold. You have changed. This is how the trap closes. Machiavelli would tell you that human beings are not evil, but they are opportunistic. They take what is given freely and resent the giver for having it in the first place. The more you help, the less valuable your help becomes. Scarcity creates worth. Abundance creates indifference. When you are always there, you are invisible. When you are not always there, you are suddenly remembered. This is where people misunderstand Machiavelli. They think he advocated cruelty for its own sake. He didn't. He advocated realism. He warned against naive goodness because naive goodness gets destroyed in a world that does not operate on ideals but incentives. People respond to what benefits them, not to what is morally pure. If being helpful costs you nothing, it means nothing to them. If being helpful costs you everything, it still means nothing to them. There is a quiet resentment that grows inside the endlessly helpful person. They won't admit it, but it's there. It grows every time their effort goes unreciprocated, every time they give and receive silence, every time they sacrifice and are forgotten. This resentment doesn't make them stronger. It makes them bitter, and bitterness without power turns inward. It becomes self-blame. Maybe I didn't give enough. Maybe I should try harder. Maybe I'm not good enough yet. This is how good people disappear, without ever being defeated by an enemy. They defeat themselves. Machiavelli observed that those who wish to be good in all circumstances will come to ruin among so many who are not good. This is not cynicism. It is a warning. The world is not a monastery. It is a battlefield of interests, desires, fears, and ambitions. Walking into it with pure intentions, but no armor, is not noble. It is reckless. Being helpful signals something very specific to others, that you're willing to put their needs above your own, that you can be leaned on, that you will endure inconvenience, discomfort, even disrespect for the sake of harmony. This signal attracts a certain type of person, not the grateful but the hungry, not the respectful but the entitled. And once they sense this, they will keep taking until there is nothing left. Notice how rarely help flows upward, those above. You almost never reward loyalty with elevation. They reward it with Dependency. They want you useful, not powerful, because a helpful subordinate is predictable. A powerful one is dangerous. So you are encouraged to stay good, stay loyal, stay selfless. And the moment you show ambition, the moment you assert boundaries, the moment you stop overgiving, you are framed as a threat. This is why Machiavelli emphasized appearance over intention. He understood that being perceived as good is often safer than actually being good, because true goodness without leverage invites domination. But controlled generosity, strategic kindness, selective help, these create alliances without surrendering power. Help when chosen, not compulsive, becomes a tool. Help when scarce becomes valuable. Help when conditional commands respect. The fatal mistake is not helping. The fatal mistake is helping indiscriminately, helping out of fear of rejection, helping to be liked, helping to avoid conflict, helping because you don't know who you are without being useful. This kind of goodness is not moral strength. It is moral fragility. Machiavelli would ask you a brutal question. Who benefits from your goodness? And if the answer is everyone but you, then your goodness is being harvested. You are not a moral hero. You are a resource. Think of how often helpful people are told to wait. Wait your turn. Your time will come. Keep doing good. It will pay off. But Machiavelli knew that time does not reward patience. Power rewards decisiveness. While you wait, others act. While you serve, others position themselves. While you give, others take credit. And by the time you realize what has happened, the hierarchy is already solidified, and you are stuck where you are because you are too useful to be promoted to, accommodating to be feared, too good to be respected. There is a deep irony here. The more you try to be loved through helpfulness, the more invisible you become. Love requires choice, and choice requires the possibility of absence. If you are always available, you are never chosen. You are assumed. Machiavelli understood that humans do not respect generosity unless it is paired with strength. Without strength, generosity looks like weakness. Without boundaries, kindness looks like submission, and submission invites control. This does not mean becoming cruel. It means becoming selective. It means understanding that your time, energy, and attention are currencies. Spend them wisely, or others will spend them for you. Machiavelli would never tell you to stop helping. He would tell you to stop helping blindly, to stop confusing self-erasure with virtue, to stop mistaking exploitation for destiny. The goodness trap is seductive because it flatters your identity. It tells you that you are special because you give, that you are superior because you endure, that suffering quietly makes you righteous. But Machiavelli saw through this illusion. He knew that righteousness without power is just another form of vulnerability. And vulnerability in a world that rewards advantage is not protected. It is consumed. If you want to survive, if you want influence, if you want to shape your own fate, you must learn the difference between being good and being effective. One makes you feel virtuous, the other makes you formidable. And the world, whether you like it or not, bends not to those who are helpful, but to those who are indispensable, unpredictable, and capable of withholding as much as they can give. You have been taught to fear withholding, to fear saying no, to fear becoming less agreeable, less available, less good, because somewhere deep inside, you associate restraint with cruelty. You associate boundaries with betrayal. You believe that if you stop helping, you will lose love, approval, belonging. Machiavelli would say this fear is not accidental. It is cultivated because an person who fears withdrawal is easy to control. The most dangerous lie ever told to good people is that their value comes from how much they give. Once you accept that lie, you surrender your leverage. You begin negotiating against yourself. You give before being asked. You overextend before being needed. You exhaust yourself in silence and call it integrity. But integrity without agency is just obedience wearing a halo. Watch how power actually works. Those who rise are not the most generous. They are the most discerning. They choose when to engage and when to retreat. They understand that access is influence, that absence creates gravity, that people chase what they cannot easily have. This is not manipulation. It is human nature operating without apology. Machiavelli saw that people are fickle, loyal when it suits them, distant when it doesn't. They will praise your generosity while draining it dry. They will admire your sacrifice until it inconveniences them. And when you finally ask for something in return, they will look at you as if you have broken an unspoken rule, because in their mind you were never a giver. You were a fixture, a background utility, something to be used, not negotiated with. This is why helpful people are shocked when they are discarded. They believed the moral contract was real. That effort guaranteed loyalty. That kindness created obligation. But Machiavelli knew better. He knew that obligation fades faster than memory, and memory fades faster than convenience. The world does not run on gratitude. It runs on leverage. When you help without limits, you remove all pressure from the other person to grow, to reciprocate, to respect. You become the solution to problems they should be solving themselves. And the more you solve, the more dependent they become, and the more they resent you for that dependency. This resentment is subtle, but it is deadly. It turns appreciation into contempt because dependency feels like weakness, and humans despise what reminds them of their own weakness. This is why people often turn on those who help them the most, not because the helper did wrong, but because the help exposed an imbalance. Machiavelli understood that imbalance breeds hostility. If you give too much, you place the other person beneath you, and instead of gratitude, they feel diminished. So they correct the imbalance the only way they know how, by devaluing you. This is the hidden cost of constant goodness. You don't just lose power, you attract quiet enemies. There is a moment every helpful person experiences, a moment of clarity that feels like betrayal when they realize that if they disappeared tomorrow, most people would not miss them. They would miss the benefits, not the person. And this realization hurts not because it is cruel, but because it is honest. Machiavelli would tell you that this pain is a teacher, that it reveals the difference between being needed and being valued. Being needed keeps you busy. Being valued gives you choice. The former traps you. The latter frees you. So what is the alternative? Do you harden your heart? Do you abandon compassion? No. You abandon compulsion. You stop helping to prove worth. You stop giving to earn safety. You stop sacrificing to avoid conflict. And you begin helping as a sovereign knack, not a reflex. Powerful people help from surplus, not from fear. They help when it strengthens alliances, not when it erodes their position. They help in ways that build respect, not dependency. They make their help visible, measurable, and finite. And they are never afraid to withdraw it. Machiavelli warned that generosity, when uncontrolled, leads to poverty, resentment, and loss of authority. But generosity, when strategic, creates loyalty and admiration. The difference is not moral, it is structural. Ask yourself this: do people respect your time, or do they consume it? Do they listen when you speak, or only when you serve? Do they seek your opinion, or only your labor? These questions are uncomfortable because they reveal the truth of your position. And Machiavelli believed that facing uncomfortable truths was the first step to power. There is a reason why those who say no are often feared more than those who say yes. Fear is not always terror. Sometimes it is simply awareness that access is not guaranteed, that approval is not automatic, that cooperation must be earned. This awareness changes how people treat you. The goodness trap convinces you that being feared is evil. But Machiavelli made a distinction that most people ignore. It is not fear, it's self that corrupts. It is hatred, and hatred comes not from firmness, but from unpredictability and humiliation. Clear. Boundaries do not create hatred. They create clarity. Clarity stabilizes. Relationships far more than endless. Accommodation. When you stop overgiving, something strange happens. At first, people push back. They test you. They accuse you of changing, of becoming selfish. This is not because you are wrong. It is because the old dynamic benefited them. Resistance is proof that the shift matters, Machiavelli would say. This moment is critical. If you retreat back into old patterns to restore comfort, you confirm your weakness. But if you hold your ground calmly without apology, without aggression, the hierarchy recalibrates. People adjust. Some leave, some respect you more. Some reveal themselves as parasites who were never allies to begin with. This loss is not a failure. It is a purification. The goodness trap thrives on your fear of being alone, but Machiavelli understood that solitude with power is safer than company without it. A person who can stand alone cannot be easily coerced. A person who needs approval will always be governed by those who grant it. You are taught that goodness is selflessness. Machiavelli would argue that unchecked selflessness is self-destruction. True strength lies in balance, in knowing when to extend a hand and when to let others fall, not out of cruelty, but out of realism, because rescuing everyone eventually drowns you. The world does not need more martyrs. It needs fewer fools. When you reclaim your boundaries, your help becomes intentional, rare, impactful, and because it is no longer guaranteed, it is finally respected. You stop being the background support character in everyone else's story and become the author of your own. This shift is quiet but irreversible. And once you experience the difference between being endlessly helpful and being strategically generous, you will never confuse the two again. Because at the end of the day, Machiavelli was not interested in goodness. That feels noble and ends in ruin. He was interested in survival, influence, in agency, and he would tell you that the greatest kindness you can offer yourself is to stop bleeding for those who would never bleed for you, to stop giving without power, and to understand that in a world ruled by incentives, the most dangerous mistake is believing that goodness alone will save you. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Every interaction begins to reveal its true structure. Who initiates, who accommodates, who benefits, who absorbs the cost. And you begin to notice how often you have been trained to confuse peace with submission, harmony with silence, goodness with self-denial. Machiavelli would say that the first victory is awareness, not because awareness fixes everything, but because it ends the illusion. Illusion is the fuel of the goodness trap. The illusion that people will remember. The illusion that effort accumulates moral credit. The illusion that one day, finally, you will be repaid. But power does not operate on delayed justice. It operates on immediate consequence. What you tolerate becomes your position. What you allow becomes your rank. The helpful person is always told they are strong, but notice how rarely they are. Protected, strength that cannot defend. Itself is not strength, it is endurance, and endurance is only admirable when it serves a purpose chosen by the one who endures. When endurance is imposed, it is exploitation. Machia would ask you another ruthless question. If your kindness disappeared tomorrow, what would replace it? Respect or replacement? If the answer is replacement, then your role was never valued. Only your output was. This is why he warned against being loved more than feared when love is unstable. Love that depends on usefulness is not love. It is convenience, and convenience evaporates the moment it becomes inconvenient. Fear, when grounded in consistency and boundaries, outlasts affection built on overgiving. Not because fear is noble, but because it is reliable. The modern world romanticizes burnout. It celebrates those who give until they break and calls it passion. It praises those who overextend and labels them dedicated. But Machiavelli would recognize this pattern immediately. A system that glorifies self-sacrifice is a system designed to extract, and those who refuse to be extracted are labeled selfish, so others don't follow. There is a reason why the most exploited people are also the most morally shamed. Shame keeps them compliant. Shame convinces them that asserting needs is a moral failure, that wanting more is greed, that protecting energy is betrayal. This is not ethics. This is control. Once you stop helping, automatically you confront something uncomfortable: emptiness, silence, space. The space where you used to be busy fixing, saving, smoothing, absorbing. Many people panic here. They rush back into usefulness because emptiness feels like irrelevance. But Machiavelli would tell you that emptiness is where power accumulates, because power requires room. Room to decide, room to act, room to withhold. When you are constantly giving, you are constantly reacting. Reaction is not authority. Reaction is subordination to other people's agendas. Authority begins the moment you decide what deserves your energy and what does not. You may notice that when you stop overgiving, some people become hostile, not openly but subtly. Passive aggression, guilt, withdrawal. This is not because you harmed them. It is because you disrupted a benefit they felt entitled to. Entitlement always disguises itself as morality when challenged. Machiavelli understood that morality is often used as a weapon by those who benefit from the status quo. They will call you selfish for doing what they would never do for you. They will call you cold for refusing to sacrifice what they were happy to consume. And if that language works, if it pulls you back into guilt, then the trap resets. The hardest part of escaping the goodness trap is accepting that some people will never like the version of you that has boundaries. And that is precisely why those boundaries matter. Approval that requires self-erasure is not approval worth having. You begin to realize that much of what you called kindness was actually fear. Fear of conflict, fear of abandonment, fear of being seen as bad. Machiavelli would not judge you for this. He would simply tell you that fear-driven behavior is predictable, and predictability is weakness. Power does not require cruelty. It requires unpredictability, the ability to say yes and no with equal comfort, to give and withhold without apology, to act in alignment with interest rather than image. The goodness trap keeps you obsessed with how you are perceived. Machiavelli shifts your focus to outcomes, not how you look, but where you stand, not whether you are praised, but whether you are secure. This shift feels uncomfortable at first because it strips away the comforting identity of being the good one. But that identity was never protecting you. It was exposing you. You were never rewarded for your goodness, because goodness alone is not currency. Value is currency. Scarcity is currency. Leverage is currency. When you understand this, you stop trying to earn respect through suffering. You stop confusing pain with progress. And here is the paradox. Machiavelli understood deeply the moment you stop trying to be good all the time, you often become more genuinely respected, even more genuinely trusted, because your actions become deliberate rather than compulsive, because your yes means something again, because your presence is no longer guaranteed. People sense this shift immediately. Some respond with admiration, some with discomfort, some disappear entirely. Let them. Those who only valued what you gave were never aligned with who you are becoming. The goodness trap tells you that withdrawal is abandonment. Machiavelli would say withdrawal is selection. You are choosing where your life flows. You are choosing who has access. You are choosing not to pour yourself into containers with no bottom. In a world that quietly punishes the endlessly helpful, reclaiming your agency is not selfish. It is survival. It is the refusal to be consumed by other people's needs while your own life shrinks unnoticed. You do not owe the world your exhaustion. You do not owe people unlimited access. You do not owe anyone your power disguised as kindness. And once you understand this, once you feel the weight lift, once you experience the calm that comes from no longer bleeding for approval, you realize something Machiavelli knew all along, that true strength is not found in being endlessly good, but in being able to choose when goodness serves you and when it destroys you, and having the courage to act accordingly without guilt, without apology, without needing to be understood by those who benefited from your silence. Because the moment you step out of the goodness trap, you are no longer living to be consumed. You are living to command. And that changes